Hello foodies, let's start off this recipe by cooking some raisins in rum. So we have raisins in the pot, then I'm adding some rum and a little water. You're going to go ahead and simmer this for about 5 minutes. You just want the raisins to plump up. Don't turn up that heat too high because you don't want it to burn, all right? All right, so this has soaked up all that rum. We're going to puree until smooth. The next step is to just add some brown sugar, just mix that in and then allow this mixture to cool. So we've set our raisin puree aside and then now we're going to do the dry mixture. So we have flour in here, it's just all-purpose flour. I'm adding salt and baking powder. Just mix that in till it's thoroughly combined. We'll just set that aside and begin to do our creaming. So we're using room temperature butter. So it's not warm, it's not cold, it's at room temperature. I like to mix this for about a minute and then I'll add the sugar. At this time, you also want to preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's ready to go when we're done, right? So now I'm going to add the white sugar and allow this to cream until it is fluffy. About 7 to 10 minutes should do. Just go ahead and cream that up. And make sure you scrape down the sides as well while you're creaming the mixture because you want the whole thing to be mixed thoroughly, all right? Gradually, you'll notice that the mixture will become lighter in color, so a little paler, and it will become lighter in texture as well. The next thing we're going to add is the eggs and make sure that they are not cold. You want to sit them out of the fridge so they get to room temperature. And you're going to do low to medium speed while adding 1 egg at a time. So add the egg, mix, then add another egg and continue. Once all the eggs are added, then add rum and vanilla. As soon as those are mixed in, the next step is to alternate the dry ingredients with some milk. All right, so what we'll do is we'll make sure we start with those dry ingredients. And of course, that's the mixture that we did earlier, the flour, the salt, and the baking powder. You're going to add a little of that, so maybe a third of it. And once that's mixed in, then you're going to add milk if you're using milk. Because you could use some sour cream or yogurt, but I know milk is easiest to get to. So you can use the milk. Once it's mixed in, add another third of the flour and just alternate until you've added everything. Just try to end with the flour, okay? So even though you're alternating, make sure the last thing you add to the mixture is the flour. Just want to remind you, make sure that oven is preheated before you make your batter. You want the oven to be ready, okay? And we're going to be baking in a loaf tin. So you can use a parchment paper liner or you could use your baking spray. And you're going to put a layer of cake batter. Then what we're going to do is put spoonfuls of that raisin puree. So we're not trying to create a specific design. It's not like a marble cake, right? You're just going to get some random streaks and swirls of raisin throughout this cake, all right? This is for somebody who wants that raisin and rum flavor, but they don't like to bite pieces of raisin, and you don't want a fruit cake that's full of raisins. This cake is perfect for you if you're that person. So go ahead and swirl it. Then what you'll do is add more cake batter and more spoonfuls of raisin. And then you're going to swirl it again. So just continue to do that until you get to the top. And at the top, the last layer must be cake batter. All right. the more layers you do, the more swirls and streaks of this delicious rum puree you will get. All right. So just go ahead, random swirls throughout. Just try to do small spoonfuls. All right. Swirl it, but don't let the knife touch the bottom of the cake tin. All right. So once you do that, more cake on top. Cake batter on top. Spread it out, smooth it out, and just continue. It's kind of like you're doing a lasagna. All right. So just do all those layers and make sure your last layer is cake batter and bake for about an hour 20. You can check it about at an hour just to see if it's done. And if you insert a wooden skewer and it comes out clean, then you, my dear, are good to go. Let it rest in the loaf tin for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then you can take it out because you want it to set a little bit. All right. So while it's cooling, you can make this lemon rum glaze. So I'm sifting some icing sugar. Then I'll add just a little bit of vanilla. Then we'll add white rum and lemon juice. And you're going to just whisk all of those together. All right. If you don't want it to have a strong lemon taste, you can add some water. All right. So it would be water, lemon juice, rum, and the sugar and the vanilla. And that's it. All right. Once this is whisked, it is good to go. So I removed it from the tin and then I had it resting on the wire rack. It has cooled down really nicely. So now I just need to drizzle this icing. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can use the whisk or just pour, okay? You can completely cover it or just do these lines right across. And then you're going to allow it to set because this type of icing is going to harden a little bit. Once it hardens, then you can go ahead and slice it. And let me tell you, this is so scrumptious. Once you take a bite, you can't stop nibbling. It is amazing. If you are a person or if you know someone who they kind of like that rum raisin flavor, but they don't like the taste of the whole raisins and they don't like fruit cake, they will love this cake. You have those beautiful little streaks of raisin soaked with rum right throughout there. And remember, you can add even more inside, to get even more swirls. It is so delicious. The texture of the cake itself is dense, but it's not dry. And the next day, it was still tasting amazing. It's a beautiful texture. Take a look at that. Really nice. Let me know if this is a cake that you would try. Also, you could put this in a Bundt pan if you want to. I just preferred to do a loaf today. Let me know if you're willing to try it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.